Hey guys, welcome back to Terrafirmagreg. And our goal, as I said before, is to get to the moon. And the reason is because, well, I want to upgrade to AE2 instead of using the create logistics because it's kind of laggy. And originally you could get Certus quartz around the world, and I do have some, but they updated so that Certus quartz you get on the moon. And we need those in order to do AE2. And I'm going to go ahead and play this where I need to go to the moon. So that's our next goal. But in order to do that, I think we need to do some preparation. We got to get some more stuff done in HV. And I think the number one thing that we're going to do is change out this macerator here to an HV macerator so we get the byproducts from crushing stuff. So let's get that done first. Alright, so in order to do that, we need the Advanced Macerator 2, and if we look in here, we have everything we need except a diamond grinding head, and in order to make that, we need a bunch of diamond stuff, which we have, and double steel plates, so we need to make 4 of these real quick. Which means we can get steel plates, and we're going to need 8. Because 2 will make a double sheet, and we could send it to the bender, but the bender is on circuit 1. And in order to make these double steel plates, we need to have the bender on circuit 2. It's already replacing the ones that I took out. So what we are going to do is change this to circuit 2, throw these in. Alright, it's making double steel plates. Good. Set that back to 1. Alright. Alright, so now we should be able to have everything for that diamond grinding wheel. There we go. Diamond grinding wheel. Yeah. Alright, well, we gotta place that back in, just so it'll show up in the recipe. Grab everything we need there. Comes, and there we go. Advanced Macerator 2. That was super simple thanks to our setup that we have. The only problem is we do not have HV power going into here. We have MV, and we do have MV power going into this transformer to power this turbocharger, but really I think we should just upgrade all of this to HV. I should probably mention this. I don't know if you can tell, but we do not have regular gauges and fluid gauges anymore. They're all just gauges, and that is because I upgraded from, I think it was 12.5 all the way up to 13.1. They got rid of the fluid logistics, and they put in a different fluid mod, and I'm not entirely sure which one it is. But it basically just, you use a gauge, and you can put liquids in gauges. And now, instead of these jarring stations, they're now fluid packagers. So you create packages instead of jars, and it's just a fluid package. So essentially it does the same thing, only now you don't have jars, you have fluid packages, and I guess it's less buggy. So that's good. Alright, so this cable right here is actually going to be going bye-bye. We're going to disconnect it because we're going to put a gold cable right here. Only we need to make sure it's not connected down there. The combustion on top right there. Make sure the power is going down into the HV gold cable, which will then come to the side and then down a couple and then hook into the side right here. Okay, so that is hooked up to just that, and that is hooked up to that, which is going along there. That is not hooked up to that, so it's a separate cable, no explosions. Now all we have to do is add a little bit of piping to fuel the generator there. Okay, we got the old pipe, add it there. connect it right here. Okay, we've got power going through there. Okay, this also means that we could take the turbocharger and just stick it like right here. Now we have our charger set up too. Oh, I don't have that set up. Okay, that's why it's not working. I've got to set this up to auto output and enable. There we go. So now it'll let stuff come in and go out. And there we go. Emerald dust and aluminum dust. Sweet. All right, so I have crafted a bunch of the advanced HV stuff, and I did try and fix the problem here with the packages. I made it so that only Z is my home address, and so only Z packages will drop down into here, but it doesn't seem to be working very well. I don't know why. Sometimes they don't get pulled out. So yeah, we just need to make it to AE2 as soon as possible. Well, let's start by taking all of this stuff down that we don't need. And we need 2 chemical baths, one for mercury and one for the, what's the other thing? It's sodium persulfate. Yep, sodium persulfate. So those require a chemical bath. I'm actually going to put the chemical baths right here, here. So we got all of the washing going on right here. And then next to it, we've got the sifter and the thermal centrifuge, and then we'll do the regular centrifuge right there. And if we need to, we can always like add stuff and move this around, but I think this is fine for now. We do need to put into one of these chemical baths. Well, we need to put the different stuff in there. Now we've got this set up here for getting the chemical persulfate in. We could just move it over to here. I think that would work just fine. That looks good. Now let's put the requester on. And let's put the sodium persulfate back in here. So a little tip, you have to hold down Alt when you are putting the liquid in. That's weird, but it'll do. So let's say we always want to have 4 buckets. Using target address. Oh, invest sodium persulfate. Yep, always want to have 4 buckets of sodium persulfate. And right now we're good because we've got 5. So that should work just fine. We could do the same thing over here for the mercury. So the only way to get mercury, you can electrolyze the mercury, barium, calcium cuprate dust, but I mean, the way you get that is by mixing mercury in, so that's not a way to really make mercury. The other way is centrifuging either cinnabar or redstone. So cinnabar slurry or cinnabar dust or redstone dust. So that is the only way to get mercury, and that is with the centrifuge. And that's why I had the centrifuge hooked up. The centrifuge here hooked up to the chem bath so that all of the mercury would go into it. However, there are other things that you can centrifuge and get other liquids. So I'm actually thinking we should probably do the same thing and just have mercury stored and given when needed, just so that it has a nice supply. Let's give mercury a spot right here, just like that. So all the mercury will come through and into here. However, that does mean that the centrifuge here probably needs to pipe stuff down, kind of like we have the electrolyzer here piping down. So we hooked it up right here, and we just add some arrows, give it a nice direction, and make it so it doesn't slosh around. Better frames. It just goes down into the delivery service to the liquid storage. So that'll be good for the advanced centrifuge. Let's make sure it's going out the correct way. There you go. Good. So that is connected. Connect power down here. Okay, so now you got power. And go in, throw this, and see what happens. Yep, it's running. Mercury, when it's done, should be put down. And there we go. Okay, it should have flowed down into the system. Put out. Go over to liquid storage. Get put in. Flow through the pipes. And come into here. And there we go, mercury. All right, perfect. So now we can do the same thing with the other chemical bath. Stick that on. And we gotta tune that, stick that on like that. And then of course grab frog and attach it to here. And this is gonna be chem bath mercury. And holding mercury without any safety gloves, that is bad. It's gonna make me sick for a little bit. But that's okay. And there, hold Alt and put it in. Okay, that worked. Okay, and if we do Combath Mercury and set it to, I don't know, like 4 buckets as well, just like the sodium persulfate, then we should have some mercury coming in and delivered into this chem bath. And there we go. Now we just gotta quiet these down because they are noisy. There we go. And I guess we could keep this on. I guess we could keep these on for now and not make them silent, but we probably will eventually. It'll just be so loud here. So we've got plenty of power now. Then we've got what, 5 amps. So if we have the crusher running plus the centrifuge and the thermal centrifuge, and so just, yeah, that should be fine. Should be fine for now. So that means we should go into here and enable the macerator, because it's gonna just fuel the whole rest of the machine. Because we've got crushed magnetite, which will then be washed. Well, that has to be washed with the mercury, which means we need more redstone. I think we should probably just do a whole bunch of redstone in the centrifuge. I know we need redstone for other things, but I think we've got plenty, and we should probably go and make some more, or find some more anyway. Okay, here's something really cool that you can do with these fluid gauges. There's this minimum fluid restock. So I want to have like 4 buckets in here, but the problem is that, oh, and these things are really loud. Okay. Let's just quiet all this down. You guys are being so loud. All right, now I can actually hear myself think. So there's a restock limit, and normally when it takes just a little bit, it would send a little bit out. But now with the restock limit, I set it to 3 buckets. So once this gets down to 1 bucket left, then it'll restock 3 buckets. And so, yeah, now it will send a full 3 buckets, and it won't just keep sending little bits, like 100 mil buckets at a time. So I'm really impressed with this. I love the way that this new liquid system works. See, that's perfect. Okay, so we've got all the stuff working. We've got the ore washer just washing away as fast as it can. The sifter's doing its thing. The vent centrifuge. I could add more centrifuges if I needed to, but I think we're good with just this for now. Macerator's just chugging away. So yeah, I think we have fully upgraded our ore processing. If only that pillar wasn't in the way, but I mean, that is cool. All right, so the other thing that I want to do is this chemical reactor one. It backs up sometimes because it gets, let's see, it's got 3 slots for liquids, and sometimes there's 4 or more, and they get mixed up and it doesn't work. So we are going to do something else. We are going to make this large chemical reactor, because the large chemical reactor, we can actually get, is that 5 slots? 5 different liquids in. So that'll be much easier to not get things stuck. So we need the large chemical reactor, check. Plus we're going to need a whole bunch of stuff here. This is something new, PTFE pipe casing. We're going to need one of those. Right there, one of those. Plus we're going to need a whole bunch of these chemically inert PTFE machine casings. And looking at this, this is kind of interesting. You need 1 copper nickel coil. So the first layer, just stuff. And the second layer, you have to have that copper nickel coil in there. So in order to make the actual large chemical reactor block itself, we can get all of this stuff pretty easy, but large polytetrafluoroethylene fluid pipe. In that case, we can extrude this stuff, but I think fluid solidifier is what we want to do, because in order to get this polytetrafluoroethylene, we need to mix some chemicals together. So you can either mix earth, air, and tetrafluoroethylene, or oxygen. Might as well do the oxygen. We've got a lot of oxygen. We get a little extra. So we need that. Tetrafluoroethylene, fluorodifluoromethane, or chloroform and hydrofluoric acid. And both of these are HV chemical reactors, which means I think we do have an HV chemical reactor, so that's fine. But the question is, which way do we want to go? This is chloroform and hydrofluoric acid to make that. Chloroform and hydrofluoric acid. Okay, then we might as well just do it this way. It needs to be hydrofluoric acid and chloroform. Chloroform is chlorine and methane, which we have. And hydrofluoric acid is just hydrogen and fluorine, which I think we do have fluorine. So let's do that. We do have hydrogen, we just need to make some because it's being used up. Hydrogen, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fluorine, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Send that to chemical reactor 2 and send it. There we go, hydrofluoric acid, check. I need to make some chloroform. We need half as much chloroform. Run over to chem reactor 1. There's the chlorine. There we go. Hydrochloric acid and chloroform. Okay, so now we can make the tetrafluoroethylene with 2 of the chloroform and 4 hydrofluoric acid. That has to be HV. Okay. So 2 chloroform, fluoric acid, 4 of those. That has to go in chem reactor 1 HV. So I can run over to here, and this is chem reactor 1 HV right here. Just have to wait for it to finish making its methane. Okay, there we go. We got the tetrafluoroethylene being made. Cool. Hydrochloric acid? I don't know if we have a spot for hydrochloric acid. Oh, there we go. Tetrafluoroethylene. Alright, now we just need to make the liquid polytetrafluoroethylene. It's just 1 bucket of oxygen to each tetrafluoroethylene ingot, 144 millivolts. And if we do 864, that is 6. So 6 buckets of oxygen. And we send that to just chemical reactor 1. Alright, there we go. Polytetrafluoroethylene. So 864 of liquid polytetrafluoroethylene. And send that to the solidify large pipe. Send that. Run over to it. And it's solidifying and spitting it out. Okay, cool. And yeah, we've got one of the pipes. Now we just have to do that again and make another one. There we go. Now we just need stainless steel rotor. It's in the extrude rotor chip. There we go. Everything we need for the large chemical reactor. Oh, no, don't send it to the extrude rotor. Ah. Oops. I picked up everything I needed? Yes, okay. Alright, there's the large chemical reactor. We got that. We got the maintenance hatch. We've got an input bus, and that is it so far. And okay. Well, let's go. Okay, here's a little update. While I was in the middle of doing a bunch of stuff, I needed more chromium because we're running out of stainless steel. It used to be in 13.1 that the chromium dust here, you could only get it from centrifuging the ferrochrome dust. And the ferrochrome dust you could only make in the EBF at HV. However, and it also had to have a coil that was nichrome, the nichrome coil, and that was just way too much. They updated it in 13.3, which just released, and I installed quickly because now I can take all that chromite dust, add some carbon, and make the ferrochrome dust, which I can then centrifuge into iron and chromium dust, which I desperately need. And I already have a lot of this chromite dust. We can check here. Yeah, 334 chromite dust, because I've been collecting this stuff from the, the chromite ore. But yeah, so they made it a little easier to get chromium, and that's good because it used to be a lot easier to get it before. Now it's more difficult. So they did make it a little easier again. Just have to process the chromite dust. 108 carbon dust, that needs to go to the EBF. That could actually go to the EBF1. I don't think it needs to go to EBF2. So let's try that. Because it should go around, put EBF1 here. Insufficient output items. Oh, because it doesn't have a liquid output. Alright, fine. Put this off right here and put in an output hat. There we go. We can attach that to here and make it go one way. And now oh, too hot. Okay. That is another thing that they did to the mod pack. They made it so that if you get too hot or too cold, it injures you a lot faster this time. So yeah, gotta be careful about that. But hey, now this should be producing what we need, and it should output into there and come out. Wonder if, can I go up on top here? It's still really hot. Yeah, but it should output to there. Ooh, I need better insulation then to keep my temperature regulated. Oh, it's not coming out. Why is that not coming out? So what we need to do is we actually need to put this into some kind of liquid storage and then have the fluid packager take it out. We can try doing that with a gold drum. Oh, but it's getting hot. Might need to turn this off just for a little bit. No. So we got the carbon monoxide flowing into there. We just need to attach the fluid packager right here. Yep. Give it a address of liquid storage. And then stick the frog board on top, sticking it right there. Like that. Okay, there we go. Now anything coming out of there should also go into there as well. Okay, what's up with this thing? Oh, it doesn't have an address. Okay. That's alright. Just take it down here and put it in like that. Okay, so I went ahead and made some leather armor so that I can insulate it. Yep, because this makes some clothes that will keep me warm in the winter and insulate me from temperatures, hopefully. The stuff that I'm currently wearing is actually burlap, and that is supposed to cool me off, not to keep me warm. So there we go. Let's put it on the mannequin here. All right. So yeah, temperature inside is going up to 15 degrees. However, if I go outside, yeah, going down to 4 degrees. But if I put on these, yeah, even outside it'll go up to 11. Nice. Now I should have a bunch of ferrochrome dust. I do. And this stuff I should be able to put in the centrifuge. And there we go. Centrifuging the ferrochrome dust into iron and chromium. Huzzah. Now we're going to need 18 of these chemically inert PTFE machine casings, which means we need 3,888 millibuckets of this stuff. This goes to circuit 6. Ooh, liquid polytetrafluoroethylene. We only have 7 buckets. That's fine. We need 3 buckets, 888. Okay, so 3 buckets plus that. Let's go 3, 8 plus another. So we got 3, 8, 8, 8. Okay, we're gonna actually send that to the assembler. Send it to assembler 8 or assembler 11. Let's do assembler 11 and say we need 18 of these. So there you go. Send those to assembler 11. But we need to change it to 6. So let's change you to 6. Oh no, it doesn't have. Oh, oops. I should have sent it to assembler 5. Assembler 5 has it. Well, let's change this back to 11. Let's change this from 5 to 6. And then we can just take the fluid package here and shove it in here like that. Then we can throw these in and there we go. Making the chemically inert PTFE machine casing. Now, we do need to make some of these PTFE pipe casings. In fact, I think I only need 1. Yeah, I only need 1. But, I mean, it's going to make 2, so let's just do it. We need 4 of these sheets and 4 of these pipes and one of these frames. And the frame itself requires 8 rods, 4 rods in an assembler 4. Alright, well, how do we get these rods? You can extrude, you can lathe, get 2. Okay, so we need a couple of these ingots. In fact, to get these sheets, I'm thinking, oh, yeah, I was hoping that we could just like put them on the bender, but no. You'd have to cut block or extrude into a sheet or solidify a sheet. I think I do have a sheet solidifier, the plate, so I can send 288 to the solidify ingot to get a couple of ingots, and then send 576 to the solidify plate to get the plates that I need. We can take these 2 ingots, send them off to the lathe because we need 4 of the rods. Okay, so if we take those 4 rods and send them to, let's say assembler 11, we have to go change that. We change that to a 4. There we go. So then I can take those and send them to the extrude normal pipe. And there we go. All 4 back. We can make the casing. Just like this. Perfect. Aha. Oh, okay. Yeah, they must have fixed it. It used to be back in the 13.1 that you could actually put the fluid packages through the regular packagers. They must have patched that. So I have to put all the fluid packagers back in. Here I thought I was going to be able to cut some corners, but nope. Alright, I think we have everything we need for the large chemical reactor. We've got all the input, output hatches, buses, energy, the copper-nickel coil block that we need, plus all the really fun stuff that we got to do. Maintenance hatch and the actual chemical reactor itself. I'm thinking we should probably place chemical reactor 1 because this is the one that seems to be backing up the most. So let's replace this. It's already got MV power, so that's good. The thing that we're going to need to do is we're going to need to fit it in here. So, oh, yep. Oxygen, ethylene. Yeah, we've got lots of stuff in here that was just waiting to go. Here, we need another pitcher, fluid packager. So first, let's take all of this down. Let's see, we could output in these 2 spots here and then input somewhere else. So let's see here. We'll do one there, and then just build this in like this. The energy hatch in right there, like that. So once we hook that up, that'll be fine. We'll want the outputs right here. So fluid right here. And solids right here. Just need to turn them around. So that up. Just need a pipe for this. Or if we wanted to, could just move it up 1 and run this pipe straight across. I mean, sure, why not? Let's do that, and then place the pipe on right there. You're going out, and connect you. Right, so now we got the outputs going. In fact, let's add the arrows to this too while we're at it. We could put the inputs on the backside. So there's fluids. And okay, there's input bus, input hatch, fluid packager into the fluids to repacture. And packager into the solids. Very good. Back, of course, has to be a coil. And we do have to have the actual chemical reactor right there. Good. Pipe casing. What is the pipe casing for? Actually, I don't know. Why did I need to make this pipe casing? What is pipe casing? Structure incomplete. Why is it incomplete? I missed. The pipe casing has to go in the middle. Okay. Okay, that does make me feel a little better. And we probably do want to make the maintenance right here. Right there. Just like the picture, just because. So, in the middle. No. In the middle, we put the pipe casing. And then can put this thing on there and maintenance right there. There we go, formed. Now it just needs maintenance. It needs screwdriver, mallet, hammer, cutter, crowbars, basically everything. And click done. Right, that is the chemical reactor. Right now, if we go into the input hatch, no, not input hatch, input bus, we can go ahead and put the iron dust back in there for one of the recipes. And come over here and don't forget to change this to circuit 1. This is the chemical reactor 1. Let's hook up the power. Yeah, it's got power. Alright, good. We do need to hook up the frog, which means we need to put the crate down like so. Of course, put conveyors on either side. Make sure they're exporting. Okay, good, good. Got the frog and make it attach right there, like that. Chemical reactor 1. Okay, so that should work. We can go ahead and get this stuff running again. I stopped it so it wouldn't mess up. Alright, I finally figured it out, and the problem was I did not have enough input hatches because you can only have ingredients per the number of input hatches you have in. So I was like, okay, let's have 9 input hatches. So I covered this entire wall here. But yeah, that did work at first, except when I had a recipe that had 2 fluid outputs. Guess what? We only had 1 output hatch. Oh, I gotta put this other one on. So, yeah, that was a problem. However, now that we have 2 of these, let's go on the other side and hook that up. Alright, there it goes. Alright, cool. So, the problem was that I had too many hatches. I guess you can only have so many hatches. So what I had to do is I had to take one of the input hatches off so I could put on another liquid output hatch because, yeah, you need room for the stuff to come out. So now it should work. Yeah, you can see it's working just fine. I set it up so that all of these hatches are inputs, and when the liquid comes in, I couldn't get a fluid packager to go directly into a pipe. I don't know why. I thought I could before, but I don't know, maybe that was the other mod. So I had to get it into a drum, and then from the drum into the pipe. And it works, you know. It's good enough. So fluid comes in, comes over here. it'll keep going around until it finds a spot that it can dump its liquid in, and hopefully the same liquid goes in the same input hatch. But hey, we've got 8 of them just in case. So I don't think we're gonna have any more problems with running out of room. I think we have a problem with the chemical reactor 2 as well. It's been acting up, so we may want to make another large chemical reactor and have it 2. Now you can share walls for a chemical reactor, which means maybe what we could do is put in another chemical reactor and share the output side, because the input side, it has to be 1 or a 2. All right, guys, I got it all set up and it works. So I've got, as you can see, reactor with the large chemical reactor this side and another one on this side, and they share a wall right here. And what they share is an output bus and then a couple of output hatches. So all of the liquids and solids that are produced in the middle just go right up, back over this way, just like before. And on this side, we've got all of the input hatches for chemical reactor 1. There's chemical reactor 1. So we've got, once again, same pattern, everything going around. We've got 8 of these. So it's got a bunch of stuff in here ready to go. Then on the other side, exact same thing, only mirrored. And then we've got, of course, the coils down there. And if you go underneath here, you can see it goes, this copper cable goes all the way up to the top. And these two actually share an MV energy hatch as well in the middle. And it seems to be working. So, huzzah, it's done. Well, guys, we need to do some good old-fashioned smithy work here. And I'm going to tell you why right here. Okay, well, these won't melt. They won't get hot enough to melt, so I stick those in there. And the reason why is my digger helmet right here that you can see. It's just a plain old digger helmet, but apparently you can make a better one. There we go, red steel digger helmet. So you can actually upgrade your digger helmet to a red steel digger helmet. So yeah, let's do that, because I think that'd be really cool. In order to do that, we're going to need to make a red steel helmet, and we have to smash a couple of these red steel plates together first. And you know, I was wondering, it says right here, provides protection from all hot held items and fluids. Does that mean I can grab this? Oh, no, it does not. That means I still need the tongs. Is okay. I've got tongs right here. Okay, let's grab that. Put that back in. All right, can weld. Perfect. So we need to take these two and weld them together. Okay, and then we need to make a unfinished red helmet. Okay, and that's gonna need a couple of bends and a hammer. So and a hammer's 3, so I need to go back. Oh. There we go. Okay, so we got the unfinished helmet here, and then we also need this. Put those two together and weld them. Not hot enough to weld. Okay. Get them warm up again. Did I get it? Okay, can weld, can weld. Weld together. And there's a red steel helmet. And cool it off. And we can take a charcoal back because we're done. Put that back right here. So I'm pretty sure to make this, yeah, you just craft it. You don't have to weld it or anything. So do I have everything we need? No. Oh, Right, I gotta take my digger helmet off. So take the digger helmet off. And now I should be able to do this. Current workstation does not support. What? Okay, screwdriver, helmet, digger helmet, and what was the last thing? Just a hammer. There we go. Red steel digger helmet. Okay. But it is durability 715. That's out of 130. I wonder, is it easier to repair the digger helmet instead of repairing the red steel digger helmet? Because if we want to repair it, we need to repair it with some red steel repair kits and candles. But if we want to repair the digger helmet, we just need to repair it with some tin, candles, and leather. Maybe we should do that first. I don't have any candles. Let me make a candle. Okay, just string and wax. Got some wax. Got some yarn. So wax and yarn makes 4 candles. And I should have my tin screws. Yep. Okay, so in order to fix that, we need all this stuff. Okay. So we need the shears and the screwdriver as well. So digger helmet, screwdriver, shears, leather, candles, tin screws. Got them in the wrong order. Put down there, that. Okay, there we go. So now we can fix that up. Kind of like to fix up just a little bit more. So we need 1 more leather and a couple more tin screws. All right, there we go. Completely fixed up. So now we can, let's see, that goes right there. This goes right here. Red steel digger helmet. Perfect. And I'm really hoping, shift right click, yeah, it still has the upgrades and everything. Ooh, okay. So now we put this on our head. Oh, look at that. Nice. Your armor. More durability. Like it. Like it a lot. Well, guys, we're going to call that an episode. Very productive. We got the HB ore processing upgrade and also these wonderful large chemical reactors here. So we can process things and get them all done nice and neat. Well, anyway, hope you all enjoyed, and we'll catch you later.